Hey there, friends! Welcome back to another episode where we tackle life's little challenges with a smile. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment below. Today, let's talk about something we've all encountered. Those well-meaning but oh-so-nosy people. You know, the ones who just can't help but pry into every aspect of your life. You know the type. They're just dying to know every detail of your life, from your relationship status to your salary, and maybe even your last doctor's visit. It's like they have a radar for personal information. It's like they missed the memo on personal space. They lean in too close, ask too many questions, and just don't seem to get the hint. If you've ever dealt with this, share your experience in the comments. Don't get me wrong, curiosity can be a good thing. It drives us to learn, to explore, and to connect with others. But when it crosses that line into nosiness, it's time to put on your detective hat and find some clever ways to navigate those tricky waters. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes, but a little strategy can go a long way. The good news is, you don't have to turn into a secret agent to keep your privacy intact. There are simple, effective ways to handle these situations without causing a scene. If you have any tips, drop them in the comments below. With a little humor and some handy-dandy tips, you can handle even the nosiest of Nancys with grace and ease. Humor is a great tool. It can diffuse tension and redirect the conversation. Think of it as a playful dance, a way to steer the conversation in a direction that feels comfortable for you. You can guide the interaction without making the other person feel bad. So grab your metaphorical dancing shoes and let's learn how to handle those nosy folks like the pros we are. It's all about balance and knowing when to step in and when to step back. And hey, if you're enjoying this, make sure to subscribe for more tips. Get ready to laugh, learn, and master the art of the gentle deflect. We'll explore different techniques, share some funny anecdotes, and by the end of this, you'll be a pro at keeping your private life private while still being friendly and approachable. Remember, it's your life and your story to tell. You have the right to set boundaries and decide what you want to share. So let's dive in and discover the fine art of dealing with nosy Nellies together. Stay tuned and let's turn those awkward moments into opportunities for connection and understanding. Ready? Let's go. And don't forget to subscribe and comment below with your thoughts. Before we dive into the how-to, let's play a little game of nosy or nice. Imagine you're at a social gathering surrounded by friends and acquaintances. Someone asks you a question. Is it coming from a place of genuine interest or is it just plain nosy? It's like heads up, but for social situations. You have to quickly decide if the question is friendly or intrusive. Recognizing nosiness is the first step to dodging those intrusive questions. It's a skill that can save you from uncomfortable situations. A genuine question comes from a place of care and respect. It feels warm and considerate, like a friend genuinely interested in your well-being. A nosy question? It screams, "Tell me your secrets." You'll feel the difference immediately. It's like an alarm bell going off in your head. Picture this. Your coworker asks about your weekend plans. Innocent enough, right? It's a common question that usually doesn't raise any red flags. Now imagine they start grilling you about who you're going with, where you're staying, and how much you're spending. See the difference? The tone shifts from casual to interrogative. Nosy questions often feel intrusive and make you squirm. They invade your personal space and make you feel exposed. They're like that itch you can't scratch, annoying and persistent. No matter how much you try to avoid them, they keep coming back. So trust your gut. If it feels nosy, it probably is. Your intuition is a powerful tool in recognizing and avoiding these uncomfortable situations. Always listen to it. Now let's talk strategy. When facing a nosy question, think of yourself as a verbal ninja, skillfully deflecting those inquiries with grace and a touch of humor. One of my favorite techniques is the boomerang. It's all about turning the question around. For example, if someone asks, "So when are you getting married?" Simply boomerang it back with a playful, "Now why would I tell you that?" Or, "Well, when are you having another baby?" Another classic move is the vague vogue. Embrace the art of ambiguity. Instead of a direct answer, offer a breezy, "Oh, you know how it is," or "Things are going." They get the hint and you get to keep your secrets safe. Let's bring those deflection techniques to life with some real-world scenarios. These techniques can be incredibly useful in various social settings, helping you navigate tricky conversations with ease. Imagine your great aunt asking, "Why aren't you dating anyone yet?" This can be a sensitive topic, especially during family gatherings where everyone seems to have an opinion. Time to channel your inner diplomat. It's all about maintaining grace under pressure and steering the conversation in a direction that feels more comfortable for you. You could say, "Oh, Aunt Carol, you know I'm focusing on my career right now." This response acknowledges her concern without delving into your personal life. Speaking of which, how's Uncle Bob's stamp collection coming along? By shifting the focus to a topic she's interested in, you not only deflect the question, but also engage her in a pleasant conversation. See what we did there? It's a subtle yet effective way to navigate potentially uncomfortable questions. We acknowledge the question without actually answering it, and smoothly transition to a less invasive topic. This technique can be a lifesaver in many social situations. Or, let's say a coworker inquires about your salary. This can be a particularly tricky situation, especially in a professional setting where discussing finances can be awkward. "So, how much did they give you for this new gig?" they ask with a twinkle in their eye. It's a question that can catch you off guard. They ask with a twinkle in their eye. You can sense their curiosity, but you might not feel comfortable sharing such details. Time for a little humor. Humor can be a great tool to deflect and diffuse potentially awkward situations. Try something like, "Enough to keep me in coffee and avocado toast." This lighthearted response keeps the mood friendly and avoids the need to disclose personal financial information. They'll get a chuckle, and you'll avoid an awkward conversation about your finances. It's a win-win situation, keeping the atmosphere light and breezy. These examples show how deflection can be a powerful tool in maintaining control of conversations. Whether with family or colleagues, mastering this skill can help you navigate social interactions with confidence and ease. So next time you find yourself in a tricky conversation, remember these techniques. They can help you steer the discussion in a direction that feels more comfortable for you, ensuring a smoother and more enjoyable interaction for everyone involved. With a bit of practice, you'll become adept at using deflection to handle even the most challenging questions with grace and poise. Section 5. Boundaries, baby. Setting limits with grace. Sometimes deflection isn't enough, and that's okay. It's perfectly fine to set boundaries. Remember, your life is your own, and you get to choose what you share. Think of boundaries as your personal force field, protecting your privacy with a gentle but firm hand. The key is to be assertive without being aggressive. Start with phrases like, "I'm not really comfortable talking about that," or "That's a bit personal, don't you think?" You can also try, "I appreciate your curiosity, but I'd rather keep that to myself." Section 6. Example time boundaries in the wild. Let's put those boundary setting skills to the test. Imagine a neighbor prying into your family matters. They ask, "Are your parents still, time to stand your ground?" Look them in the eye and calmly say, "That's a personal family matter and I'd rather not discuss it." Or, let's say a friend keeps asking about your relationship even though you've made it clear you're not ready to talk about it. When they bring it up again, gently but firmly say, "Hey, remember how I said I'm not quite ready to talk about that yet? I promise I'll fill you in when I am." Section 7. The artful shift. Changing the subject like a pro. Sometimes the best way to handle a nosy question is to simply change the subject. It's like a magic trick, redirecting the conversation to safer, less intrusive territory. The key is to be smooth and natural. Think of it as a conversational detour, steering the chat away from the danger zone. For example, if someone asks about your love life, you could casually mention an upcoming trip or a new hobby you're excited about. Section 8. Changing gears examples to get you started. Let's illustrate the art of the subject change with some practical examples. Picture this. You're at a party and someone asks, "So, are you still living in that tiny apartment?" Time to redirect. You could say, "Actually, I've been meaning to check out that new art exhibit downtown. Have you been?" Or imagine a relative asking about your weight loss journey. Instead of divulging details you'd rather keep private, try this. "I've been feeling so much more energetic since I started that new yoga class. Have you ever tried yoga? See how that works?" You've gracefully shifted the conversation to a new, less intrusive topic. Section 9. When all else fails, the power of directness. Sometimes, despite your best efforts, you'll encounter those who just don't take the hint. In these situations, it's time to channel your inner Beyoncé and embrace the power of directness. Remember, being direct doesn't have to be rude. It's about being assertive and setting clear boundaries. You can say something like, "I know you're curious, but I'm not comfortable answering that question." Section 10. Direct approach. Examples for the bold and beautiful. Let's empower ourselves with some direct yet polite ways to shut down nosiness. Imagine a coworker asking about your recent breakup. Instead of dodging or deflecting, you could look them in the eye and say, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm still processing things, and I'd rather not talk about it right now." Or let's say a family member keeps asking about your finances. Time for some straight talk? Try this. "I understand you're curious about my financial situation, but I'm not comfortable discussing that with you." Remember, you're not obligated to share personal information if you don't want to. Section 11. You've got this. Embrace your inner deflector. And there you have it, folks. You're now equipped with an arsenal of witty and effective techniques to handle even the nosiest of Nellies. Remember, setting boundaries and protecting your privacy is your superpower. So go forth and deflect, redirect, and set those boundaries with confidence and a smile. And always remember, a little humor goes a long way. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to practice my deflection techniques. You never know when you might encounter a nosy Nancy in the wild.